They took me out there yesterday while we take before he was out. And I took him some polluted place. There's a in my room. Don't tell Lauren. Because if they find his body, I don't know where he's at. They find his body. And they find out where he has room for machine. I don't know where he's at. I'll make that thing to you. That's not the one that we took. They said that you told me that I would know where he was at more than you would.
Hello all you couch detectives out there, my name is Lee. Thank you for being here. Real quick, if you enjoy this video, make sure you're following our podcast. We will have new episodes regularly. Either scan this QR code or follow the link in the description. Okay, enough rambling, let's get into it. January 10th, 2019, Otway, Ohio. This is one of those "these people should have never had children" cases. Jessica and Daniel Groves, their baby, little Dylan, was taken away when he was born 1 month premature with drugs in his system. Neither Jessica nor Daniel asked about Dylan's condition after he was born. Dylan was placed with foster parent Andrea Bowling, a school teacher in the area. Andrea became a licensed foster parent when her own son went off to college. During the first 2 weeks, Jessica Groves met up with Andrea for a visitation. Meanwhile, baby Dylan was still dealing with withdrawals. When he was awake, he wanted to be held, and he still had shaky arms and legs. And even though Andrea warned Child Services about Jessica possibly being under the influence during that visit, they decided to release Dylan back into the custody of Daniel Groves on January 28th. There were also supposed to be weekly checkups from Child Services. It seems that they were unable to make contact with Daniel, or there were some excuses by Daniel that prevented this from happening, so these visits rarely took place. They did make a visit to the Groves residence on March 28th, 2019, and the social worker reported that Dylan was being taken care of and had no visible injuries at the time. Dylan was held by Jessica the entire visit. This would be the last time Dylan was seen alive by Child Services. Child Services filed a missing persons report for Dylan Groves with the Scioto County Sheriff's Office on April 30th. Their caseworker made several attempts after that to reach Daniel at his residence, to no avail. And on June 10th, their caseworker learned that both Jessica and Daniel Groves had been taken into custody. The Scioto County Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant on the Groves' home, where they found a belligerent Jessica, and Jessica claimed that Child Services already taken Dylan, but obviously that was not true. Jessica Groves was taken into custody. Daniel Groves, on the other hand, barricaded himself in the house and had a roughly 6-hour standoff with officers. He said he was asleep throughout the whole thing. Sure. He was eventually taken into custody, and he too stated to the sheriff's office that Child Services had taken Dylan. Jessica and Daniel Groves were both transported down to the station for questioning. This is the interrogation of Jessica Groves, which took place on June 10th of 2019. Daniel Groves' interrogation is linked in the description below. But first, let us have a moment of silence for the victim in this case.
Jessica, honey, can you look up and talk to me a minute? I'll introduce myself to you. I'm Detective Conkle, Jody. I'm gonna get some information. Because they brought you down here, I'm gonna go ahead and read you your rights, sweetheart, okay? If you don't understand something, stop me and I'll explain it to you, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any question if you wish. You understand that? Can you talk to me?
I didn't answer the questions.
Okay. Well, like I said, I wasn't there, okay, honey? I don't know what's going on, but we're trying to get this figured out. I figured we can figure it out together, okay? Let me get a little bit of information from you, sweetheart. What's your date of birth? Can you tell me what your date of birth is?
6/14/79.
Okay. So what's going on? Can you tell me what's going on?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I know so far and some of the questions I have for you. Evidently, is Daniel your husband, sweetheart?
Yes.
Okay. I guess Daniel's in the trailer refusing to come out. Is that your understanding?
I have no idea. I was in bed.
Okay, well, that's what they're telling me, sweetheart. Couple concerns. They actually called in a SWAT team and on the way there, and we want this to end as positive and as good as possible. That's why I need your help. Couple questions. Is there any guns in that trailer?
Just a BB gun.
Okay, just a BB gun. Do you know where he would be at in that trailer?
Nope.
Okay. Is there any way to get out, like at the bottom of the floor?
Nope.
Okay. Is there anybody else in there besides you two that was in there? Because they thought they seen a second male in there. So just you two all
They
day?
see whatever they want to see.
Well, honey, I wasn't there. That's why I'm asking you, okay? I'm talking to you here, woman to woman. You know, I think you want him to get out of there okay. Is that correct? You don't want nothing to happen to him?
No.
Okay. You guys got a drug problem, sweetheart? You're not on drugs right now?
No.
What about Daniel?
No.
Okay. You guys, how long you guys been married?
A long time.
I'll say, you guys been together. Well, you guys went to Northwest, didn't you? I taught dare out there years ago. I'm telling my age. Did I have you as a teacher? In
I
sixth
don't know.
grade?
I don't know.
Do you have a guy or a girl? Can you remember? Been a long time, hasn't it? You probably know why they're out there.
No, not really.
Okay. They're your child, honey. Evidently, and correct me if I'm saying something wrong because this information was just given to me. Evidently, they said you're a little boy, and what was his name? Dylan? Maybe, does that sound right? Dylan? He was born in January, and I guess he was born on drugs. Is that correct? Under the influence of drugs. Happens all the time. I'm not here to judge you, okay? Children's Services said that you were supposed to be taking him and going to some kind of parenting classes, and you haven't went and signed up your WIC. You haven't went and renewed his medical card.
We did get WIC.
Okay.
He did have medical card until he was taken away.
Okay. That's what.
And it was all given to CPS.
Okay. Where is he at now?
CPS has him.
Honey, no, they don't have him.
They have both kids.
Okay, what's your other child's name?
Daniel,
Daniel, what's the other one's name?
Dylan,
Dylan. How old's Daniel, sweetheart?
14.
And Dylan is under a year old, I assume. Okay, Children's Services does not have your child. They said that they were reuniting him back with you, and everybody says they have not seen your child since March. Nobody has seen your child since March.
He was not given back to me. He was given to his dad.
Okay. Do you know what Dad did with him, sweetheart?
CPS took him back.
They're saying they did not.
And when they took Daniel, and they had no right to take Daniel.
Well, I'm going to check into that for you. Did you see CPS take the child, or is that what Daniel told you?
Yes, they were there. They took him.
When was that?
I don't know.
Honey, I'm not trying to upset you. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this, because this is what's going on right now. Is no one can find the baby. That's what this is over. The baby's missing. And here's the thing, honey, and I'm gonna be straight up with you. If it's something that the dad's done something, whatever, you just need to help yourself at this time. One, help us find your baby, and two, help yourself. Okay?
Daniel would never hurt his children, ever.
Honey, I'm not saying he hurt him. I'm just saying, is he hid somewhere? We just need to make sure that he's okay. Okay? I need to be able to confirm that the baby's okay and nothing happened to him, because you didn't go to them classes. No, everybody said the last time they seen your baby was
I was
March.
never supposed to go to parenting classes.
Okay, that's what they said. Honey, I don't know. It's all the stuff I'm gonna check. What did they tell you had to do?
I had to go to Mahajan, which I did, and Mahajan didn't report anything. They didn't turn in nothing here.
Okay. Who did you see up there, honey? Do you remember?
Jessica,
Jessica? Okay. And what else did they tell you to do?
and see Greg
Who's Greg?
Dunham.
Greg Dunham. Did you go see Greg?
I seen him twice, and I haven't had a vehicle. I haven't had a phone. I don't have any means of communication.
So let me ask you this, is Dylan okay?
Yes, as far as I know.
Okay. Where do you think he's at?
I don't know. They didn't.
Okay, Children's Services doesn't have him. I'm going to be straight up with you. Children's Services does not have your child. Last time they seen him, they gave him, you are correct, to your husband. They have not seen that child since then. No one has seen that child since that took place.
They seen him after Daniel got him. Yes, they did.
Yeah, but no one's seen him since March, sweetheart. Didn't you guys get him in February?
I don't even remember.
I think it was February. So no one's seen your baby since March. And our biggest concern is, one, that you guys are okay, but we also got to make sure that baby's okay. And I'm sure you want to know he's okay. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of any place Daniel or anybody he would take him to? Because they said that the baby had some kind of genetic disorder it was being tested for. Is that correct? And he's supposed to be getting medical treatment. Is that correct, honey? The doctors didn't tell you that?
The doctor said that there was a lot of false positives, something. I don't even remember what it was. But it was something genetic that mom and dad both had to have, and mom and dad neither one have.
Okay. So was he supposed to have follow-up testing with that, or do you know?
I believe so.
Okay. Who is his pediatrician?
Hudson.
Over in Kentucky? Or do you see him, can he come to Lucasville also? Is that where you see him at
I've
Lucasville?
seen him in Kentucky.
Okay. When's the last time you physically seen your son?
I don't even remember.
Has it been recent? Like days, weeks?
All the days just run together anymore. They take my kids and I
Honey,
don't even care.
and I understand, but here's the thing is, we can, and you know, if you can, and you're saying you're off drugs, I don't know, so I'm gonna take your word for it. I've never dealt with you in that situation, okay? But if you can get off the drugs and everything and prove that you're doing everything right, you can have your child back, because that's what they want to do. But one, they got to make sure that your child's okay and make sure that you do stuff. And if you don't, and I can tell you that if you have problems with transportation, communication, there's people that will help you. There is people that will help you. You can pick up the phone and call me and say, I'm strapped, I don't have a ride, I'm supposed to be here. I would come out and pick you up.
I'm not getting in the car with some total stranger.
Yeah, but if I showed up in a cruiser, would you consider that a total stranger? Would you be afraid of me? No, you would not be afraid of me. Honey, life's not easy. You know, I know this. I got pregnant fresh out of high school and I had to raise a daughter by myself. It's not easy. Kudos to you, you're raising two. I don't think I could have done it. I get it. I'm not one of those people that, I've been doing this for 27 years. I'm not one of those people that thinks I'm better than other people. I had a brother that was a year older than me that died because of drugs. He's been dead for 2 years. I don't candy coat that. It is what it is. I don't have this perfect life. I've made mistakes in my life. But we can make right by them. Just when you think everything's going to crap, you can make it better. I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not, sweetheart, but you can do it. I grew up dirt poor. I didn't have anything. Till my grandma took me out of my house, there's days I went without food. So I know. There's more people like me that's willing to help you. I can promise you that. And there's some assholes, I'll give you that. I totally get it. But you know, in order to help you, I got to know this baby's okay. I need to know that you know he's okay, because you're saying you don't know when the last time you seen him was. Do you live with Daniel, is that correct?
There when I can be.
So if the baby was staying there, you would have seen him, right?
I'm not always there.
You was there today.
I'm not allowed to be there
Well, honey, I know.
when anybody's there.
Okay, and I'll be straight up with you here. I don't care about if it's something from Children's Services or protection order, whatever the case is. Don't care about that. My concern is this baby right now. You're not going to be in trouble for being, telling me that you've seen the baby or you've been out there, okay? If anything, that's going to let me know that this baby's okay. Nobody's seen this, no Children's Services, anybody, nobody's seen this baby since March. No one's telling me they've seen this baby since March. Have you seen the baby since March? You're not in trouble if you've seen it. I just need to know, because if you haven't seen it, then, that's a big concern for me as well.
Yeah, I've seen him since then, but I don't know when it was.
Well, it's okay, honey. If you can't remember, has it been recent or?
I don't know. Once they took both my kids, I could care less what day it is.
And I understand that. But what you need to do is you need to trust in someone and let us try to help you. There are people out there that's willing to help you. But you got to help yourself a little bit. Because obviously you love your kids because it seems like you're in depression now that they're gone. Is that correct?
I guess.
Can you think of anybody you would put the baby with?
No.
Did he ever tell you he was going to put him with someone so nobody would come back and get him?
No.
So you were out there today, you didn't have no conversations with him like, where's our child?
He wasn't home.
Daniel wasn't home? Where does he go, do you know? Does he work?
No, not since CPS made him quit working.
Why'd they make him quit working for?
To get Dylan back.
Okay. Does he have family around here?
He does, but nobody that he gets along with.
What about his mom and dad? Does he have a mom and dad? Or are they gone?
His mom's deceased and his dad's got Alzheimer's.
Who was his mom?
Mary.
What about you? Do you have family around here?
Tom?
Do you get along with your family?
Not really.
What's going on there? You just feuding? Your little baby's adorable. I seen this picture. I seen it on your Facebook. He was tiny. What did it say, like 5 pounds or something? Of course, you ain't bigger than a minute yourself. You're pretty tiny yourself. You been eating right? In your heart, do you think your baby's okay? Because sometimes babies get sick and stuff and things can happen.
My heart's gone without him.
But we need to work on getting them back. I mean, yeah, you guys are in a little bit of trouble right now. I'm not going to lie to you. You know that. But it's much easier to have us working with you and not against you. I don't have no magic wand that I can wave and make everything go away. But I can promise you that if you can help and we can find out that this baby's okay, that's going to hold a lot of weight with the judge. And you know that. Because what they're going to do, and they'll understand, yeah, you're hurt. Your kids were taken away from you. Any woman in this world is going to be hurt and upset over that. I would be hurt. So I've got one child. I'd be hurt. But But I can promise you, you want the court system to say, okay, she did the right thing. Even though she was hurt and upset, she let us make sure that baby was okay. They're going to be more up to be lenient on you. They're going to be more up to let you get parental rights back. And obviously you're working on it a little bit because you say you're off the drugs. Is that correct? What was you on before?
It was just something I tried.
Was it heroin or? A lot of people's experimented with it. I get it.
I did everything they told me to, and it wasn't good enough.
Who said it wasn't good enough?
They still come and took Daniel and come back and took Dylan.
Honey, they don't have Dylan. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They don't have him. Let me double check to see the last time that anybody's seen him. Make sure I'm telling you right. Hold on. Okay, Jessica, I double checked. And Children's Services did not come back out and get Dylan. Now, your family's got your older son, Daniel, or somebody, family members. I don't know if it's your family, his family. They did not come back and get Dylan, and you know that. And I think it was a couple weeks ago, you and Daniel was on a four-wheeler and took off from the cops. And they said you guys appeared to be fine. Was you guys doing drugs then?
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you were on the back of a four-wheeler. They actually got video of that when they were chasing you guys. But obviously you weren't driving, so I mean you had no control of that. So that's all on Daniel. Wasn't you afraid when you was on that four-wheeler and cops were chasing you? Because I'd have been scared to death. Was you the least bit afraid? Because you seem like you're a good person deep down inside. Is Daniel mean to you? He don't hit you or nothing?
No.
Okay, I was just checking. We need to know that baby's okay. And I'm just going to be blunt with you. I've been doing this 27 years. You know where that baby is. Either he's someplace and someone's taking care of him, or something's happened to him. Either way, we need to put an end to this, and you know that. That's the only way you're going to be able to help yourself, and you know this. No matter what the situation is, how bad it is, I'm going to be right there. What's your biggest fear?
It's already came true.
And what is that?
I lost my kids.
But it's not permanent. It's temporary if you do everything right. It ain't going to happen overnight. You got to prove to them that you're staying off the drugs. Prove to them you're doing everything right. But you and Daniel doing this and keeping that baby and not doing right by that baby is not the answer. That's just getting you guys in more trouble. And do you want to sit in jail?
No.
Because right now they're hashing out charges on you. And that's why I'm telling you, I can't put words in your mouth, but you need to help yourself. Because you're going to be no help to yourself or to your babies if you're locked up. And you know the SWAT team's going to drag him out of that trailer. It's going to happen. And you know how this goes, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way. But if he tells where the child is or what happened before you, who do you think they're going to be more lenient to? It's going to be his version. You follow me? You're not dumb. You know how this works. That's why I'm giving you the benefit right now to help yourself. Did something happen to Dylan? So Dylan is alive and healthy?
As far as I know.
Okay, you know what he or you've done with him. Okay, I'm not stupid. I'm trying my best to help you, but I can't help you if you're not willing to help yourself. I even give you my word, if your child's somewhere, I'll be the one to go out there and check on him. I won't send one of those guys. I know you didn't get along with the guys. I will go do it. I give you my word on that. You don't know me from Adam, but I promise you, if I tell you that's what I'm going to do, I'll do it. The only way this is going to get any better is to do the right thing. Because what's going to happen is they're going to lock you both up for abduction, kidnapping, and you're going to be in jail for a long, long time. You don't want that. Versus helping yourself. If your child is really okay and he's somewhere, there'd be no reason for you to tell me, not to tell me where he is. Is it you're afraid you'll never see him again? Is that the problem? I'm trying to understand, Jessica, honey. I can relate to you. We're 6 years apart in age. I've been there. And I can tell you till I'm blue in the face to do the right thing, but you're the one that's got to make the choice to do the right thing. Because lying and not telling the truth is going to get you nowhere. I promise you that. Would you take me and show me that Dylan's okay? You would get to see him. Would you be willing to do that?
I can't.
Why can't you?
Because I don't know where CPS put him.
CPS didn't take him, and you know that. You know that, okay? You're not going to play, I want to help you, and I understand you're scared, but I'm not dumb either, okay? I've told you straight up, Children's Services does not have your child. The last person with your child was your husband, and you know that, okay? You're not stupid. I know well enough to know that you're not stupid. And here's the thing too, and you say he's okay, but I'm gonna go the other route too. If it's something happened to him, not that you beat him, not that Daniel beat him, because you said he had never hurt him, but maybe medically something went wrong and something happened. I need to know that, because if not, people's gonna think the worst. Did something happen to him and that's why you're lying to me about Children's Services? I'm a mom, I get it. It hurts. And if something did happen, pretending like it didn't is not going to be the answer either. And you know that, sweetheart. Your baby deserves better than that. And you know that. You deserve better than that. Let me show you something here. Hey, when they got you out of the trailer, is Phantom in that trailer?
Not that I know of.
So you don't think he's in the trailer? Now look how precious.
Yep.
Now if that don't make you do the right thing, nothing will. He's beautiful. Let's do the right thing and let's get him. All you gotta do is trust in me. People can come in here and promise you the moon. I'm not gonna do that because I don't have a magic wand. I can't promise you anything other than I will go to bat for you no matter how bad it is. Because, I mean, if he's alive and he's okay, let's go get him. If he's not, don't leave him laying out somewhere. That's my biggest fear is if something happened to him, he's laying out somewhere. And you don't want that. Accidents happen, I know this. I've been doing this 27 years. I know more than anybody. Because it's not going to get better for you until we can find him. Good or bad, we need to find him. Because what's going to happen is they're going to charge you and you're going to serve there in jail. Have you ever been in jail before? Well, now's not the time to start because you're what? How old are you? 40 what? 40? 41. What are you afraid of? There's got to be something you're afraid of, Jessica. Did Dylan pass away? Jessica, I know you got a heart down in there. It's obvious you love your babies. You already told me that. You're the only one that can make me understand what's going on here. Was it an accident? Jessica? Can you talk to me?
I've been talking to you and you're just taking me in circles.
Honey, I'm not. I need to know that he's okay. I don't know what happened to him. But one thing I do know is Children's Service does not have him. The last person seen with him was your husband, Daniel. And I have no reason to lie to you about that, and you know that. I'm not taking you in circles.
Well, I don't know why CPS would say they don't have him.
They don't have him. That I'm 100% sure of. I have nothing to gain by telling you false information, and you know this. CPS does not have your baby. Now they've got your oldest one's placed with family somewhere, and you know that too. But your little one is missing. He has not been seen since March.
That's great to know. Makes things so much better.
Last person to have him was Dylan. Or I'm sorry, Daniel. That's why I'm giving you the option to tell me what happened. Let me understand. Because I promise you, you want me working for you and not against you. I'm not here to judge you. There's only one person that can judge you, and you know that. I mean, I can take you to jail and lock you up and throw away the key. That's what anybody else would have done, but I'm trying to let you help yourself. Do you understand how serious this is?
Yep, and I have nothing for you.
If we drug test you, gonna test clean off everything? Something you need to think about. Because once I take you over there, there's no going back. You know this. I think me and you want the same thing. We want to find that little baby and we want to find him okay. Do you think he's okay? And why do you think that?
I just think he is.
I mean, he was little when he had health problems. You still think he's okay? With no medical care?
He didn't have any health problems.
Well, they alleged health problems, I should say. I mean, who's buying his formula or his food or whatever he's doing? Because if Daniel's lost his job, I assume you don't have any money coming in, do you? Are you hungry now? I hear your belly growling. Do you want me to get you a sandwich or something?
Nope.
Do you want me to just take you over there then?
Might as well.
I mean, it's your choice. I'm trying to help you. I can't make you help yourself. Let me give you a few minutes to think about it. You know it's not going away, right?
I know I've done nothing wrong.
Well, chances are you're going to be charged with abduction, kidnapping, and interference with custody. Do you realize how serious that is? That's why I'm telling you, if Dylan's okay, let's go check on him. Save everybody a lot of hassle. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. You're not going to get him back instantly. You know that. But you can work on getting him back if he's okay. Keeping him hidden is not the way to get him back ever. You know that, right? Wouldn't you like to see him and hold him? Why don't we just make that happen?
Because I told you I don't know where he's at.
Who would know where he's at?
I don't know.
Well, Daniel has to know. You've never had a conversation with Daniel? Where's our baby?
CPS took him.
They did not take him. They took him originally, they gave him back to Daniel. They have never came and taken him since then. So just get that out of your head. It did not happen. I have no reason to lie to you. You know I'm not lying to you. Either one, something's happened to your child that you're trying to cover up, or two, Daniel's placed that child somewhere. I'd have to say that he doesn't have him a whole lot either, because you guys wouldn't be out on a four-wheeler carrying on if you had a baby. I mean, you've been with Daniel long enough that if he took that child somewhere, you're going to know where a child's at. I mean, you guys have been together a lifetime, basically. I mean, you've got, what, a 14-year-old son, so you've been at least together 14 years. Probably way longer if I was guessing. Didn't you date in high school? Because what's going to happen is that your picture is going to go all over the news. Picture of your missing child's going to be all over the news, and his picture all over the news. Do you really want that? When it can all be prevented? You're going from never ever being in trouble to hitting it big. You know what I'm saying? Let me work with you and let me help you. You don't have anything to lose. The only thing you have right now is to gain. We know people make mistakes. We know things happen. But they also take in consideration when people make right by them. Daniel didn't tell you where he was going when he left the trailer? How does he get around? Four-wheeler? Or do you guys have a car?
Can't take a four-wheeler or car nowhere when you got no money.
Well, he went somewhere. If you're saying he's not in that trailer. I'm not out there, so I don't know. Did you say you were asleep when they came out there? Was he asleep with you when you fell asleep? What was he doing?
I don't know.
Do you have any close friends? You don't have any friends you talk to or go visit with? What happened to all your friends from high school? Just part ways with them?
I guess.
Okay. Let me check and see if I can get an update and see if they found him for you. Okay. Yeah. Here's the deal. I'll take you over there, put them charges on you, just so you understand. If we find something's happened to that child, you understand you're going to be charged with it. Because evidently they've got him now, and he's saying something totally different than what you're saying. That's what I told you. You have one shot of I told you I would help you. Help you sort this out, no matter how bad it is. And I told you that. I don't have a magic wand. But from what I've just been told, he's putting it all off on you. That's why I need to know if something happened to that child and it was an accident, let me check into it. Versus just going on I don't know what he's saying, but he's portraying something totally different than what you're saying. He said you were the last person to have the child. Did you take the child from him?
No,
Why would he say that?
he didn't.
That's what they're saying. I'm not out there. You realize how serious these felony charges are? And with these type of charges and you not trying to help yourself or help put that baby where it needs to be, it's only going to be 10 times harder on you. Do you understand that? I want you to understand what you're doing. Do you fully understand that, Jessica? Because once I take you over there, you guys are going to be all over the news. You said you didn't want that. Because you know what everybody in Soda County is going to think, don't you? They're going to think you two did something to that baby. Versus getting the truthful story of what really happened. There's a big difference between an accident and intentionally doing something. Do you understand the difference between that? Do you understand that, Jessica? This isn't a game. I'm not playing games with you. Because I promise you, once I leave out of here, the guys are not going to be willing to help you, and you know that. I think you've already dealt with them out there. I don't know who was out there. Right now is your chance. You got someone that's a woman that understands. You've got someone that's done this a long time that I understand things happen. The only person that can help you right now is you. You can help yourself. Because if you have any ounce of respect for yourself or for your child, which I think you do, deep down inside, you love your children. No matter how bad it is, you would do the right thing. That's the last thing you can do for your child is do the right thing. It takes a hell of a person to admit, I made a mistake, I need help. Anybody can lie, anybody can play dumb, but I have more respect no matter what the case may be. I've had people come in here and sit and tell me they've killed a person and explain to me why and how it got to that point. And I still had respect for them. Because they did the right thing. I don't have a respect for a person that sits here and lies knowing there's a little baby under a year old that either could already be dead or could be in danger. Because as a mother, I could tell you, no matter how hard it was or how bad it was, if something happened to my child, I would do the right thing. Because as a parent, when we have a child, we take on that role at all cost, do the right thing. And I'm sure you know that. You got the option to have the respect of everybody or be the most hated person in the county. That's where you're at right now. No in between. You gotta look at the big picture. Even if it's bad, and I don't know that it's bad, but if it is something bad, doing the right thing is gonna be 100 times better than waiting it out. Because it all comes out in the wash, and you know that. That baby hasn't been seen since March. That's going on 3 months now. Nobody's seen that child. That can't be good, Jessica. I'm just being blunt with you. It cannot be good. And you know that. Deep down in you somewhere, I know that you've got love for that child. Right now, that child, you're both your children, but Daniel's okay. Both your children should be way more important than your husband at this point. More important than yourself at this point. You will always have that. I did the right thing. No one can ever take that away from you. And I'll be the first one to sit right there in court with you and say, no matter how bad this is, Jessica did the right thing. I don't understand what you're afraid of at this point. At this point, you're already in trouble. It's just how bad are you in trouble? How much are people going to be willing to help you and work with you? Pretending like it doesn't exist doesn't make it go away. It's always going to be there. You've got the option right now of doing the right thing. And I think you want to. I don't know what's keeping you from doing it. Because I can tell by looking at just your body language alone. You're hurting. I don't know what I can do to help you. What do you think?
Told you everything I know.
Honey, you haven't. You know Children's Services didn't come pick your child up. There's nobody going to believe that. Not one person. I don't believe that for a minute. There's not one person, especially a judge, a jury, or anything, that's going to believe what you just told me. So is that what you want to do? You just want to take all these charges and be locked up? I mean, I've gave you every option. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you because I don't know what you're going through. But in the same sense, I'm not dumb either. I think you know that. You've got a chance to do the right thing. You can right every wrong you've ever made. I preach that to everybody. There's nobody in this world that's perfect. I'm not perfect. But we got to do the right thing. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for your baby. I even told you I'd let you say goodbye. You think anybody else would do that for you? You think them guys out there would do that for you? What's holding you back? Is it the fear of being in trouble? Jessica? What is it that's holding you back? Because I can tell you want to be honest. I can tell by looking at you and watching you. But it's like you're afraid of something. Are you afraid of being in trouble? Jessica, I can't help you if you don't tell me. Tell me what your concerns are. Tell me what's bothering you. Are you worried about what people's going to think? I can't read your mind. Do you want to try to help yourself or no? It's your choice. I can't make you do the right thing. But I can tell you want to. I've been doing this long enough, I can tell. What do you think? Do you think just ignoring it is going to go away?
Nope, I have nothing else to say.
Okay, hang tight and I'll get you over. I gotta put the cuffs on you before I take you over there. I'll put them in the front. Okay, come on. It's like, I'm sorry. It's like a terrible difference. Have a seat right there. I'm gonna grab something real quick. You feel warmer over here?
A little bit.
Okay. Because I want to talk to you again, I'm going to go ahead and read your rights again. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any question if you wish. You understand that? Okay. As you can see, I was telling you the truth. They did have him. And I just talked to him, and he told me that Dylan is dead. And that you guys put him in something and took him up the road off to the right and put him somewhere. He said that you would probably be able to tell us better so we can get him so he's not laying outside, honey. Don't leave your baby laying out there another night. What happened, sweetheart?
I done told you what I know.
Okay, you didn't tell me the truth. You told me something from Children's Services. He's already told me the truth. Your husband's already told me. The lying's got to stop now. If you want me on your side, trying to help sort this mess out, you got to be honest. Because obviously your husband just was. How long's he been dead?
Right there it is, Bob. Right there it is. I tell you. Still Billy? Oh, damn. I won't say nothing behind your back. I won't say anything.
Honey, this is your chance. I told you he was going to tell the truth when he came in. I told you that before you went over there. Do you think you can help us find him? Honey, you need to look at me and answer me. I just don't want to leave him laying out there another night. I just can't stand the thought of it. And I don't think you want him laying out there another night either, do you? What happened to him, Jessica? Remember I told you about it's a time when it's over, it's over. You need to step up and do the right thing. Do what's right for that baby.
I have the right to remain silent.
Well, honey, I mean, that's your choice. If that's what you want to do, you can. So you don't want to try to help find him tonight? I assume that's a no? Because we're getting ready to take him out there. So I assume you're done? Do you want to go back, Jessica?
Yep.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'm gonna find out what rooms are going on. You come on.
Jessica Groves admitted that she was the cause of her son's death, but was adamant that Daniel had nothing to do with the death of Dylan, and that he was unaware of the injuries that she gave to him. She claims it was an accident, and that she was high and can't remember how Dylan got the injuries that he had. She admitted to dropping him, and claims that that had to be the cause. In the end, this is what the jury decided.
In the case of State of Ohio versus Daniel Groves, case number 19 CR 586A. Jury has returned their verdict. Jury is to count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find the defendant Daniel A. Groves not guilty of count 1 of the indictment, aggravated murder, a violation of Ohio Revised Code section 2903.01 CFA, being an unclassified felony. As to count 2, murder, the jury has found, we, the jury, having been duly impaneled, further find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 2 of the indictment, murder, a violation of Ohio Revised Code section 2903.02B DV, an unclassified felony. As to count 3, the jury has returned their verdict. We, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 3 of the indictment, kidnapping, in violation of Revised Code section 2905.01A5C1, being a felony of the first degree. As to count 4, juries return their verdict. We, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 4 of the indictment, endangering children, a violation of Revised Code section 2919.22A E2C, being a felony of the third degree. We, the jury, having found the defendant guilty, further find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant's violation did result in serious physical harm to Dylan Groves. Count 5 of the indictment, the jury has found, we, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 5 of the indictment, tampering with evidence, in violation of Revised Code section 2921.12A1B, being a felony of the third degree. As to count 6 of the indictment, the jury has found, we, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 6 of the indictment, interference with custody, in violation of Revised Code section 2919.23A1D2, being a felony of the fourth degree. Jury further found, we, the jury, having been found the defendant guilty, further find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant's violation did result in physical harm to Dylan Groves. As to count 7, the jury has found, we, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 7 of the indictment, gross abuse of a corpse, in violation of Revised Code section 2927.01 B and C, being a felony of the fifth degree. Count 8 of the indictment, the jury has found, we, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 8 of the indictment, felonious assault, a violation of Revised Code section 2903.11A2 D1A, said offense being a felony of the second degree. Count 9 of the indictment, the jury has found, we, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 9 of the indictment, felonious assault, a violation of Revised Code section 2903.11A1 D1A, being a felony of the second degree. As to count 10 of the indictment, the jury has found, we, the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 10 of the indictment, felonious assault, a violation of Revised Code section 2903.11A1 D1A, being a felony of the second degree. As to count 11, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Daniel A. Groves guilty of count 11 of the indictment, felonious assault in violation of revised code section 2903.11A1 and D1A, being a felony of the second degree. As to the case of State of Ohio versus Jessica Groves, case number 19 CR 586B, the jury has, as to count 1 of the indictment, charge aggravated murder. The jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 1 of the indictment, aggravated murder, a violation of revised code section 2903.01 CFA, being an unclassified felony. As to count 2 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 2 of the indictment, murder, a violation of revised code section 2903.02 BDB, being an unclassified felony. As to count 3 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 3 of the indictment, kidnapping, a violation of revised code section 2905.01A5C1, being a felony of the first degree. As to count 4 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 4 of the indictment, endangering children, a violation of revised code section 2919.22 AE2C, being a felony of the third degree. The jury, having been found the defendant guilty, further find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant's violation did result in serious physical harm to Dylan Groves. As to count 5 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 5 of the indictment, tampering with evidence, a violation of revised code section 2921.12 A1B, being a felony of the third degree. As to count 6 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 6 of the indictment, interference with custody, a violation of revised code section 2919.23 A1 D2, being a felony of the fourth degree. Jury further found, we the jury, having found the defendant guilty, further find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant's violation did result in physical harm to Dylan Groves. As to count 7 of the indictment, jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 7 of the indictment, gross abuse of a corpse, a violation of revised code section 2927.01 B and C, being a felony of the fifth degree. As to count 8 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 8 of the indictment, felonious assault, the violation of revised code section 2903.11 A1 D1A, being a felony of the second degree. As to count 9 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 9 of the indictment, felonious assault, the violation of revised code section 2903.11 A1 D1A, being a felony of the second degree. Jury is found, as to count 10 of the indictment, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 10 of the indictment, felonious assault, a violation of revised code section 2903.11 A1 D1A, being a felony of the second degree. As to count 11 of the indictment, the jury has found, we the jury, having been duly impaneled, find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant Jessica Groves guilty of count 11 of the indictment, felonious assault, a violation of Ohio revised code section 2903.11 A1 D1A, said offense a felony of the second degree. This matter comes before this court this 10th day, January 2020. Each defendant's sentencing hearing is being held pursuant to revised code section 2929.19. Now, Mr. Groves, certainly you'll have a right to appeal any sentence I give you in this matter. Do you have funds to hire a lawyer to represent you on this any appeal that you choose to pursue?
Yes, I don't.
Ms. Scott, are you willing to accept the appointment for the purposes of that appeal?
Your Honor, if I do accept that appointment for appeal, that does cause my client to waive certain arguments that he may have. Could I refrain from answering that question at this time until after consultation with my client off the record?
I will need
so he would be fully advised of that?
I will need you to advise the court staff no later than Monday morning.
I can do that, Your Honor.
Sir, I will need you to fill out another financial disclosure form so I can appoint counsel to represent you. Now, Ms. Jessica Groves, likewise, you have the right to appeal any of the decisions I've made in this case and any sentence that I would give you in this matter. Do you have the funds to hire a lawyer to represent you in that appeal?
No, sir, I don't.
All right. Mr. Stratton, would you be willing to accept the appointment for purposes of pursuing that appeal?
Your Honor, it's always been my policy to not work on the appeals of my trials, so I ask that you appoint other counsel for that matter.
Thank you, Mr. Stratton. I would ask, I will appoint counsel to represent Ms. Groves following sentencing. Ms. Scott, Mr. Stratton, I would ask that both of you consult with your clients and file any appropriate notice of appeal, even if you choose not to remain on the case.
Yes,
and I will appoint counsel to pursue that appeal. Defendants in this matter have been afforded all rights pursuant to Criminal Rule 32. This court has considered the record, the oral statements made, the victim impact statement presented in this matter, as well as the purposes of sentencing as found in Revised Code Section 29.11a to punish the offender, protect the public from future crime by the offender or others, and using the minimum sanctions this court determines accomplishes those purposes without imposing unnecessary burden on state and local government resources. This court has also considered the allocution of both defendants of Ms. Groves as she's provided it here in court today. The court has also considered the principles of sentencing as found in Section 29.11a, b, and c, specifically the need for incapacitation, deterrence, rehabilitation, and restitution, as well as being commensurate with and not demeaning to the seriousness of the offender's conduct, its impact on the victim, and the consistency of sentences for similar crimes by similar offenders. This court has considered and balanced those serious and recidivism factors as found in Section 29.9.12, b, c, d, and e, and also considered those factors as found in Revised Code Section 29.13b. This court is also going to find that consecutive sentences are necessary to protect the public and from future crime, and to punish each offender and not disproportionate to the seriousness of the offender's conduct and to the danger the offender poses to the public. The court will further find that one or more of the multiple offenses was committed as part of one or more courses of conduct, and the harm caused by two or more of the multiple offenses so committed was so great or unusual that no single prison term for any of the offenses committed as part of the course of conduct adequately reflects the seriousness of the offender's conduct. This court will further find as to the defendant, Daniel Groves, pursuant to Revised Code Section 29.29.12b. Specifically, this court is going to find that the injury was exacerbated by the victim's physical condition or age. Also going to find that the victim suffered serious physical harm as a result of the crimes. This court's further going to find that Mr. Groves' relationship with the victim facilitated this offense, and I'm also going to find that he was the parent, custodian, or person in place of the parent or custodian at the time the offense was committed. I'm also going to find that the defendant in this matter, Daniel Groves, does have a criminal history, although that criminal history consists of only a misdemeanor conviction. And I will find that there's been no proof or evidence brought forward of any felony convictions. I will further find that the offender shows a pattern of alcohol and drug use related to this offense and does not acknowledge or refuses treatment. I'm also going to find that he's shown no genuine remorse. As to the defendant Jessica Groves, as to those factors in 2929.12, I will likewise find that the injury was exacerbated by the victim's physical condition and age. The victim suffered serious physical harm as a result of the crime, that the offender's relationship with the victim facilitated the offense, and that this is an offense where she committed this crime on her child as the parent, custodian, or person in loco parentis. Going to further find that she has shown a pattern of alcohol or drug use related to this offense and does not acknowledge or has refused treatment. I'm also going to find, despite her allocution here today, that through these proceedings she's shown no genuine remorse. I will find that she has no prior criminal convictions. Defendant Daniel Groves, will you please stand? Sir, as to count 2 of the indictment, you have been found guilty of the charge of murder. I will sentence you to the prescribed term of imprisonment for that offense of 15 years to life in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 3 of the indictment, you are convicted of a charge of kidnapping, a felony of the 1st degree. You have been found guilty by the jury. I am going to sentence you to a term of imprisonment of 10 years in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 4 of the indictment, charged child endangering, a felony of the 3rd degree, I will sentence you to a 36-month term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 5 of the indictment, charged tampering with evidence, a felony of the 3rd degree, I'm going to sentence you to a 36-month term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. To count 7 of the indictment, charge gross abuse of corpse, a felony of the 5th degree, I'm going to sentence you to a 12-month term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. To count 8 of the indictment, you are convicted of charged felonious assault, a felony of the 2nd degree. I'm going to sentence you to an 8-year term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. And as to count 9 of the indictment, I am going to sentence you to an 8-year term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. I am going to order the sentence in count 5, tampering with evidence, and count 7 to run concurrently with each other. It would be my intention, by imposing this sentence, to impose a term of 47 years to life in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. And we'll give you credit for the 213 days you've served in the county jail while awaiting trial. You can be seated. Defendant Jessica Groves, will you please stand? Ma'am, you stand convicted of the charge of aggravated murder. Will be the sentence of this court that you be sentenced to a term of imprisonment of life without the possibility of parole, as to count 1 of the indictment. As to count 3 of the indictment, charge kidnapping, a felony of the 1st degree, I will sentence you to a 10-year term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 4 of the indictment, I am going to sentence you to a 36-month term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 5 of the indictment, charged tampering with evidence, I'm going to sentence you to a 36-month term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 7 of the indictment, charged gross abuse of corpse, I'm going to sentence you to a 12-month term in the custody of the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 8 of the indictment, I will sentence you to an 8-year term in the custody of the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 9 of the indictment, also charged felonious assault, I will sentence you to an 8-year term in the custody of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections. As to count 5 and count 7, I will order those sentences to run concurrently with each other. However, pursuant to my earlier findings, I will order the remaining charges to run consecutive to each other. It would be my intention to impose a sentence of life without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 32 years as part of this sentence. You can be seated.
Jessica and Daniel both appealed the verdicts at the trial, claiming ineffective counsel. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you follow our podcast on your favorite platform. We will be uploading there regularly. Also, check out our second channel for body cam videos, and stay tuned right here on Couch Detectives for more. We will see you soon.